Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about figuring out when it is all enough for you. At the end of this video, I'm really excited for you to feel, I forgot my wedding ring, hold on. Okay, we're back. My name is Allee and I am just so passionate about helping women who are ambitious with huge dreams get what they want, feel aligned with what God is saying and telling them what to do, and more than anything, just knowing themselves and respecting themselves along the journey. You can build a business and you can thrive at life at the same time, and we're gonna learn how to do that together. I really want you to be able to understand what is going to be your enough point so that you are able to arrive to a place, understand the process is worth it, and more than anything, just ground yourself. And with that, let's get into it. I really believe finding your good enough point is key for success and happiness, because it's really easy to lose yourself in getting more and more and more. And me personally, I feel like I lost about 2 years of my entrepreneurial journey just like a slave to the bottom line of my business. And I didn't even realize it because there's so much joy in it for me too. I love building, I really love having a team, I love having multiple businesses, but I kept seeing the number grow in the bank account, in the Stripe, in the different softwares, and sales go up for my different products, and that felt so invigorating to me. But then it almost like took life away. And I now as a coach see so many people feel the same way. When you are chasing numbers and when you have this really, really high goal in mind, even when you're on the way and you're far away from that big goal in mind, which is where I was and where I still am in my journey, if you're a slave to one specific element, then you're never going to rest, you're never going to feel fulfilled, it's never going to be enough, and you get lost very easily. And so even though I was making progress and things were growing and people were like, wow, I was actually truly like selling off pieces of my soul and my heart to figure out like how to do things better. I was sacrificing rest, I was sacrificing my relationships. And so I never want you to be there. And I think being able to know, one, the enough point is really important, but the enough point doesn't mean that you need to settle. As an ambitious woman, you have big dreams, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And I want you to actually nurture and protect that in such a big way. And I want you to understand that you actually have to set enough points daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, etc. because realistically, we're playing a very long game when we are building toward what we feel God has told us to do, right? So that being said, we're going to talk through specifically this one tale. I actually saw it. My husband sat me down when I was in a big spiral of like, am I enough? Am I doing enough? I need to hustle harder. I need to go faster. And it is called the Mexican fisherman tale. So you may have heard it, you may not have, but essentially a CEO was extremely exhausted, and so he decided to take a vacation, and he went to Mexico, like this small town in Mexico, to relax and unplug for a week. So he is there and he's observing this Mexican fisherman, and he, kind of pedals up to the pier on his boat, and he's unloading all these incredible fish, and the businessman is like, this is awesome. Like, dude, you could totally scale this out and create an insane multi-million-dollar business. And the fisherman was like, okay, like, tell me more about that. What do you mean? And so he was like, you can get all your processes down, and then from there you can get more boats. And then, with this and that and the other and some investors here, you're going to be able to multiply all of the different things that you're bringing in. You're going to be able to take all of this and then transport it all over the world. You're going to be the best of the best. You'll be able to make millions of dollars. And then the fisherman was like, cool, but like, what's the end? Like, what makes it worth it? And he was like, well, at the end, you'll be able to be a multi-millionaire, and then you're going to get to retire in a seaside town and have your own boat and do nothing and just be with your family. And the fisherman was like, I already do that. Like, I already have that. I'm so happy with the fish that I bring in. I already spend time with my family. I live in a place that I love. Why would I go the long way to get something that I already have? And I watched that, you guys. It blew my mind because, one, I was doing that. And I think a lot of us do it without realizing it, because again, that enoughness is hard to measure. So I don't think dreaming is bad. I think dreaming is really holy. I also think building a business is really holy. I think there are many things in the world that get to be influenced and changed by women who are in the marketplace. And so I say yes and amen to that. And I want you to know that you don't have to sacrifice the elements of your life for them to be good enough or ambitious enough or flashy enough or scaled enough to prove something to someone. That just doesn't make sense, because at the end of the day, you're gonna come back to where you are today and realize that, well, I had a lot more than I realized. So while we're operating off of that principle, I want you to understand that like it's enough when you say it's enough, one, and then two, your ambitions, don't let them steal your life away. You actually have everything that you have right now on purpose, and it's probably enough. And is there room for improvement? 100%. I have student loans that I'm still paying down. I have multiple things in my life that I'm excited to steward well, tick off the list, and create a really beautiful foundation for my family, for the children that come after my children, all of that. That's super, super exciting to me. And you're gonna have elements of that too in your life, but I need you to understand that there are standards that are ostentatious too, that our industry really likes to project on people. You don't need a Ferrari, I promise, unless you want it, right? But like figuring out what you want is really, really key. So I have an exercise that I'm gonna lead you guys through. You're going to be someone so beautiful on the other side, but you're also gonna realize when you arrive that you were already someone that was so beautiful. So let's go into the questions that are going to help you clarify your enoughness points. Okay, first question is, what do I actually want to be doing? That is something I want to tell you. I asked myself that question at the start of my journey, and it was really effective. I realized I was doing things that I didn't want to be doing. I was in a corporate grind. I was being pushed to go into a specific 9-to-5 that looked really good on paper but didn't feel good for the way that I actually operate and know that I want to live my life like, right? I have ADHD, I am dyslexic, I like to just float and do and achieve, and there's no lack of hard work, but I don't want to be told what to do. I didn't want to show up to the same place until I was 80. I needed a little bit more flexibility to that. It scared me, right? So I got to ask myself, what do I want to do? There were a lot of parts of my business that were like led by my should, that I actually didn't find joy in, that actually weren't like creating massive fruit that were blessing people. And so it was really easy for me to be able to cut things off. So I want you to get really real with yourself, whether you're at the beginning or the end of your journey or somewhere in the middle. What do you actually want to be doing? Why are you actually here? I want you to get really, really, really clear with bullet points, a statement, something that you feel you can communicate back to yourself that creates a very specific picture that feels grounded for you. Okay, once you have that clear, it's important that we go into the second question with an extremely open mind and realism. I need you to be really realistic about what your life is looking like right now. I want you to tell me what is on my plate that actually aligns with my future vision. And I really brought this in during the first question too, but you actually have things you're in charge of right now. There are pieces of it that are totally gonna be going with you. So what are things that are on your plate that align with your future vision? I want you to get really specific about those too. And do it in the same form as how you answered the first question, so you are able to kind of get grounded with the first and then add on to it with the second. And then the third question really just goes off of both of those. I want you to look at those lists. I want you to think about specifically what you want to be doing, and then I want you to think about what is on your plate that does align, and then I want you to create a list of things that do not align with your future vision that are on your plate right now. Circle anything on that list that you can eliminate. You cannot succeed by only adding. And for the first 5 years of me building a business, possibly even like the first 8 years, I thought that when a problem arose, I needed to bring in something as a solution, when realistically, addition is not always the best way to grow. Sometimes it is really thoughtful, finite subtraction. So you need to be brave enough to eliminate the things that are not working. So I want you to go in there and really give yourself space and some grace and get clear on what needs to be eliminated. So then from there, you're able to actually figure out what you want to take forward. When it comes to figuring out you're good enough in life, I think from there, now that we have data and we figured out what is working and what we want to do and what isn't working, there's action that's going to need to be taken. And what's really interesting about business is you can conceptually understand that you need to be someone or something or somewhere in the next step, and it doesn't instantaneously happen. It takes time. I want you to get clear on like what steps you need to take forward so that you can breathe life into what you just wrote down during this exercise. I love a hustle. I love it, you guys. It's like delicious to me. It's like eating ice cream. It makes me feel like I have worth. But my worth isn't in my hustle, and I have to learn that. That is one of my guardrails. I cannot prove anything by doing anything. That's just not how life actually is. That's not what our true belief system should be saying. I can get better. I can be sharpened. You can get better. You can get sharpened. But you need to understand that nothing you do is going to qualify you to be worthy. And your business cannot do that itself. And so I want you to then think through what your habits have been that are causing self-destruction, and what are your habits that are actually like allowing you to be who you're created to be. What's giving you life? If you are in a place where you are deprecating your gifts, you are like pulling yourself back, then we probably are in a red zone. We probably are where we don't want to be, right? So I want you to think through too, like, how can I show up and who can I be in a healthy way while I am chugging along and making progress season to season. And it's going to change year to year. So that's the last element I really want you to think about. And there's no question I can really pose for you specifically, because this is a very unique situation. You are a very unique human. Your enoughness is going to be really marked by how healthy you are and the fruit that you're creating in your business. There will be seasons where we do hustle, and there will be seasons where we rest 100%, but it's the satisfaction that we get from that isn't telling us who we are and what we're worth, that's going to allow you to nestle into the enoughness that you really were created to exist in. I hope that this blessed you. I hope this made sense. And I hope you feel more clear. It's a unique journey, and I can't necessarily pull you out of a pit or kick you off of a mountaintop. Only you have the power to do that, but the journey will always continue. Go build what you feel called to, and do not reject yourself to receive success, because it will never be worth it, my friend. With that, if you like this video, then go ahead and leave us a comment below. Make sure that you hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.